What are tactical gun training courses, and do online tactical training courses work? That's what we'll answer in today's video. Hi, my name is Dylan Wilson with CBT Stunt Alliance. Train hard, perform easy. We help actors, stunt performers, filmmakers, and content creators learn professional stunt training for film, TV, and live action entertainment. Before we get underway, if you'd like to launch your career in professional stunts or grow your current career to the next level, check out our highly popular Pro Stunt Training courses at PROStuntTraining.com or click on the link below this video. You can learn stunts, falls, tactical firearms training for film and TV, two-handed sword fighting, one-handed sword fighting, sniping, all sorts of things. Everything you need to grow a career. Go to PROStuntTraining.com for more information. Okay, so we get asked a lot of questions about tactical firearms training. A lot by actors, stunt performers, even filmmakers who want to invest in training, and they want to know what to invest in because there's so many options out there. So a lot of times what they want is to learn something that's realistic that they can use to grow their career, yet also they can use to protect themselves. So they can kind of take care of two birds with one stone, so to speak. So the first thing, this is one of the questions. We'll cover a few questions and you'll get the answers that you want. So first of all, what are tactical gun training courses? And this is an important distinction. We're going to cover, the other type of courses that are out there next. And in tactical training, the objectives are to study combat theory, also how to develop the right mindset so you can be effective if a combat or a personal or self-defense situation comes about. Also how to respond, to different scenarios. Because sometimes, like even if you have a firearm, you don't want to have to, most of the time you don't want to have to use it in real life we're talking about. You'll also learn defensive shooting techniques, how to protect yourself, your family, people around you, the legal aspects of actually owning a handgun, proper use of concealed carry for your handgun, all the things that have to do with your personal life, how to protect yourself, your family, your property. You're going to learn those things in tactical firearms training courses or tactical gun training courses. If you're going to invest in a firearm, you want to get that type of training. So for someone interested in leveraging that in film and TV, that's the type of training that you want to get. Not the other type, which is like competitive shooting or target shooting, which we're going to cover next. Okay, question 2. What are the differences between competitive target shooting and combat tactical training courses? And that's, what you're going to find out there is competition shooting, target shooting, things like that. And again, this is why, people wish to know, what should I take? Because these competitive shooting matches seem like a lot of fun. People talk about it. I know people who are involved with it. And especially for someone who's interested in using it in film and TV and even personal defense, that's why they want to know this. So we're going to share with you some of the differences. Now, competitive shooting is like any other sport, like soccer or something. It's something where you do it for fun, right? Yet when you're talking about using it for film and TV or even for personal defense, these are the main differences. Number one, all the targets in competitive shooting are single shots for the most part. If you ever watch any of the competition, the person is firing with their handgun and they're knocking down targets, steel targets usually, and then they're going on to the next one. Well, in real life, in an actual gunfight, whether it's a soldier in a battlefield, a police officer, a person protecting your home, it usually takes multiple shots to put a person down. Unlike what you see in film and TV, it's not just one bullet hits a person, it just falls to the ground and that's it. Many times you take successive shots, firing into a bad person to actually stop them from doing the bad thing that they're doing. And so what's happening if you're training to do target shooting, one, you're training yourself to take single shots, which will actually can get you killed in an actual, real situation for real life, where the training should be to keep firing into a target until the target actually goes down. The second thing is that in competition, speed reigns supreme. It's all about how fast you are, right? Where that's good to be fast, yet not at the expense of accuracy and tactical technique. So, give you an example, like they'll use certain grips in competition shooting because it helps them steer the gun. Some of the aiming techniques are even different, because when you're shooting at a still target, it's totally different. You know, if you're shooting at a still target that's this size, look how much area you have to hit, right? Yet, if you're in a scenario where lives are at stake, you know, one of these horrible active shooter situations, and you have to shoot someone, that you need to be precise where the targets are. There's only a few targets that are going to stop a person from hurting other people in the moment. You can shoot someone and they still hurt other people. So you have to know exactly where to shoot them and be precise. And so the accuracy isn't paramount, it's more speed, and hitting anywhere in this target is fine as long as it hits the target. And the third thing is that there's no need to take cover, right? Because there's no one shooting back at you. So since that's not a concern, the concern is, being fast and running and moving quickly, and not being concerned about ducking and dodging bullets or leveraging cover and concealment. So this is why what tactical shooting addresses all those things. For film and TV, competition shooting is not what you want, because it won't give you what you need to grow your career. You want to have tactical training. Tactical training is going to teach you all the things that we discussed before on, where the proper place, to shoot a bad person to stop them from doing bad things. How to survive a scenario, how to get the right mindset, how to get your body right, the right positions and stuff. The proper grip, the proper way of holding a firearm, the proper way of doing reloads, all that type of stuff that you will do under pressure in a real life scenario that you don't learn the same, with competition shooting. Plus, from a casting perspective, a lot of times when they're casting for people who have tactical firearms training, they want someone who looks a certain way with a firearm. And there are movements that your body learns through muscle memory that only come from tactical firearms training, that you don't get from competitive firearm training. I had a lady one time, I was stunt coordinating a project, and we were talking, and the stunt performer was always trying to, hustle the stunt coordinator, which is fine. That's a long-standing practice. They're just introducing themselves, letting them know what your skills are. And she was telling me, and I think I talked to her and asked her, hey, you have any type of, tactical firearms training? And she just lumped it all together in her head, and her response was, Dylan, I'm from Texas. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, so I had to kind of, press her respectfully. I said, what do you mean? Because you're from Texas, everyone in Texas has a gun, doesn't mean everyone in Texas has had tactical firearms training, right? And everyone in Texas doesn't have a gun, by the way. And everyone in Texas did not have tactical firearms training. And anyway, she pulled up some videos on her phone of her doing target shooting little pieces of paper. She's sitting at the range, with a lever action rifle, and just shooting a piece of paper. And in her mind, she thought that would qualify her and help her get cast in projects that call for tactical firearms training. I didn't say anything to her, and I just suggested, I said, listen, one of the things you definitely want to do is invest in some tactical firearms training, because that's more target shooting, which is good. So you're familiar with firearms, and you're comfortable with them. Yet what's going to get you cast is actually having tactical firearms training. There's going to be different grips, different stances. I mean, you're going to learn cover and concealment. You're going to learn a lot of other things, and that's what's going to help you get cast. Unfortunately, she took the heed of the advice and did that, and of course, completely different. So that's what you want to grow in your career, is to have tactical firearms training, not just target competition shooting or target shooting. Because it won't benefit you growing your career, and it certainly won't benefit you in a personal defense situation either. Question 3, do online tactical training courses work? And the initial response that you would think, if you've never trained in firearms before, is that, well, how could you possibly learn anything about, firearms, tactical firearms training from an online video course, right? And the actual correct answer is yes, you can. Especially during the pandemic, many people started taking to online classes to learn on a variety of topics, and even firearms training. In the United States specifically, there was a rush to buy firearms, right? And there's so much so that there was a back order of firearms, a shortage of firearms, because people, like 6 months to wait to get a firearm, because everyone rushed out and bought firearms during the global pandemic. And yet all these people have firearms that didn't have training, right? So with some of them and people didn't want to meet with them to train them because of the pandemic. They didn't want to catch a plague and die from teaching people how to use firearms. So some turn to online training, either having live classes online or just pre-recorded videos, and then they could critique videos and such. And this worked very well. And so it's like, why can this work? Because a lot of the basics, it works for both beginners and even people who are advanced. Because a lot of the basics you can easily learn, from a video. And here's the issue: when you're in a class, for the most part, the trainers, if they're good, especially if they have any type of certification for training, they're going to do a decent job of teaching you the basics, right? You have some people who have no formal certificate or instruction on how to teach. They just are like, I was in the military, I can teach you this. I'm a veteran myself, and I have had training on how to teach. It's a world of difference. Just because a person's a veteran doesn't mean they can teach you how to shoot, right? And they can have all types of bad habits that you won't even know about. And we have on our stunt team, got plenty of veterans the same way, right? And we all went and got trained even with the NRA on how to become instructors, how to teach, the public. World of difference. So any good instructor is going to be good at teaching you the basics. Yet what can happen is you're still in a class. So you may not grasp the basics. You may not have it, right? So you may learn something and it's like, I still don't get it. And after you've asked 2 or 3 times, you don't want to be a pest because they still have to teach a bunch of other people in the class. Yet with an online tactical training course, you can just keep rewinding the video over and over again. And say, okay, so what's incorrect with my grip? And then you watch the video, okay, well, this is called the tang. All right. Oh, so the tang is supposed to be, so I'm supposed to do it like this. Okay, and I guess it's all right for my finger to be right there. Oh, wait, let me rewind the video. Oh, so my finger should be right here on the frame, right? And so you can learn these things better with online tactical training than even in person, because when an instructor has 10 people in the class, it's easy for someone to do it right the first time, then the instructor turns to go work with somebody else and the person's down here somewhere, right? So those are some of the benefits of it. Now, something to know is that even for advanced people, that's how they learn, firearms training too, because it's a combination of online the videos and what's called dry fire. Dry fire is when you don't have bullets. This is actually a prop firearm. It's not an actual real firearm. It's one used in film and TV. Yet it's something called dry fire, where there are no bullets or anything in a firearm, and you just practice all the fundamentals with it, right? So if you're practicing firing, CQB techniques, presenting from the holster, doing concealed carry draws, all that type of stuff. You can practice that, with a non-firing replica or prop firearm or doing dry firing. People who are in the military, who are in law enforcement, the ones who are really good shooters do a lot of practice. And a lot of times, anyone will tell you get good by doing dry fire. You get really good, doing, drawing and everything else by doing dry fire. Even your shooting technique. There's techniques on firing on the move where you put a penny or a dime rather on top of the pistol, and as you're walking, you're dry firing and doing that. So, especially if you're a beginner, you'd be surprised that you can learn a lot from videos, and with dry firing. And again, that could be something as simple as having an actual prop firearm or practice firearm to practice with. So you can definitely learn a lot from the courses. The ideal thing, though, last point on this, is to be able to have videos that you watch and some means for an instructor to observe your performance and give you feedback. As long as you have a medium for them to observe your performance and give you feedback, you should be good. And this is a game for working the basics. It's still good when you can go out and get live instruction too in addition to it, yet it all ties together. So it's not like an either or thing. Learn what you can with one medium and learn more from the other. So it's best to get both ideally. All right, last question 4. What are the benefits of using online tactical training courses in film and TV? There's several benefits. One is that you get training right away, right? So usually when it's online, if it's pre-recorded videos, you can sign up now and get started now. And a lot of times for actors or stunt performers, even filmmakers, they have projects coming up, they got auditions coming up, they got self-tapes and stuff coming up, and they may wait till the last minute. Yet they need the training now is the whole point. And so the benefit is one of immediacy. So you can enroll in an online training course now and literally start training now. I mean, you could, especially with the courses that we provide, you have a phone, that's it. You log right in, and then bam, you prop up the phone, and then you're practicing and learning what you see there, from competent instructors. The other thing is there's no danger. When you actually go to a in-person tactical training course, they're always going to give you a safety briefing. And part of the safety briefing are protocols to do if someone gets shot. And that means, there's going to be a first aid kit there. I'm also a certified range safety officer with the National Rifle Association, and have been for years. So I conduct live fire experiences and events and things, So there's going to be a first aid kit there with a tourniquet and other stuff, because stuff can happen. And people can get shot. Somebody can be there with a pistol, and especially if they're a newbie and they'll be sitting there, they get nervous because someone just shot really close to them, and look where the gun's going, and they shoot somebody else. This stuff has happened. There's also going to be, talk about how to, if depending on the location, how ambulances are going to come in, or if we have to bring in a helicopter to take you out. You could die is the whole point. It's a reality of it. Yet when you do the online tactical training classes, and especially when you're using prop firearms or doing dry fire, there's no danger. There's no one else around you shooting, right? And when you're using like the type of prop firearms that we recommend in our classes, there's nothing that comes out of it. You can sit there and practice all day long, and there's not going to be danger to you, your pets, anyone else, And then I'll say the third benefit is you can start working right away. Like you have an audition tomorrow or project tomorrow, and you kind of talked your way into it and don't know the first thing about about firearms, tactical firearms training. You can go and enroll, train in the video, watch the video, take the classes, learn how to do the stuff, everything else, and practice, and be ready for tomorrow's audition, be ready for tonight's audition, be ready for tonight's performance. So that's one of the benefits. The last benefit is this, and this is something that you only know if you work outside of the U.S. I would say more so outside of the U.S. because in some countries they have gun control, which means civilians are not able to own firearms. And so if civilians can't own firearms, there aren't any tactical firearms training courses around. Because what kind of business model would that be? Who would they be teaching? The only contacts they could have would be with law enforcement and the military. So in some countries they don't have that, and so yet there are filmmakers there, there are actors there, there are stunt performers there, and they make movies, and they want to make TV shows, and they still want to look legitimate when they do it, right? They don't want to look like a noob with a gun. And so in those instances, suddenly when you can access online tactical training, and learn the stuff that you need, for your project that you're going to, audition for. You might live in one country and going to be cast for a movie filming halfway around the world. Yet as long as you have the knowledge and the training, you can finally, submit for these roles and actually book these roles. And one last thing I'll tag on this. There was there's a famous story about an Olympian, an Asian guy who, he wasn't from the States. I don't recall, it might be Japan or China or something. And I think it was a lady actually. It was a lady. I couldn't find her name online. I would tell you her name. Yet, years ago, it was a famous story, especially in tactical circles and the military and stuff. We talked about this, where she went and won a gold medal for shooting, right? And that's not a big deal. Ladies have won gold medals in a bunch of stuff in shooting events. Yet what made her unique was that before the Olympics, she had never fired a real gun. All her training, because of gun control in her country, it might have been Japan, because of gun control in her country, she had never fired a real gun. She only could practice with BB guns. With BB guns, that's all she ever fired before coming to the Olympics. Once she arrived at the Olympics, she actually fired a handgun for the first time, and she took the gold against people who grew up in gun cultures and been shooting guns their entire lives. So when you're talking about using, online tactical training and practice prop firearms or training implements, the fundamentals are the fundamentals. Doesn't matter if this is a movie prop or a real firearm. The grip is the same, the way your fingers place is the same, trigger control is the same, sight alignment, sight picture, all those things are the same. So the training that you get when you do online tactical training is going to prepare you not only for film and TV, to grow your career, but also for personal protection as well. Make sure to like this video and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. Also, make sure that you sign up for our Pro Tips email newsletter to get professional stunt tips in your inbox. Lastly, if you'd like to learn more information about our highly popular Pro Stunt Training courses, go to ProStuntTraining.com. Prepare to have your mind blown. You can sign up now and start training now. Again, my name is Dylan Wilson with CBT Stunt Alliance. Train hard, perform easy. Don't miss our next video where we share another professional stunt training tip. See you next video.